Welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. Yeah, I'm excited with another entrepreneur here doing some amazing things. Mr. Clinton Powell with Empowered.
There you go. Empowered to Win Coaching.
Empowered to Win Coaching. How you doing?
I'm doing well and I'm blessed. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's great to have you here. Great to have you talk about all the great things you're doing. I mean, you're a coach, you're an author. Who is Clinton Powell before all of that happened?
Before all of that, right? So my story is very simple. Originally from the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas.
Okay, I love St. Thomas.
One of the best, prettiest beaches you could ever experience.
Absolutely.
So parents are Caribbean as well. They're from St. Kitts.
Okay.
So we migrated to Miami in '86.
Okay.
Grew up here. Attended the one and only Carroll City High School. So whoever's listening and you from Miami, it's not those other schools. It's all about Carroll City. It's all right. It's okay.
It's all right.
But definitely
From an Edison grad. Okay.
You know what? Funny story. My brothers attended Edison before we moved to Carroll City.
There you go. Okay, so there's a connection.
There's the connection there.
All right.
But had the opportunity to attend Florida State University.
Okay.
Study engineering, industrial manufacturing engineering from Florida State. And I also always have to shout this out. Had the opportunity to participate in Marching 100 for 2 years as well. Because
wait a minute, how did that?
Exactly. I always got to explain it. So there's a joint college, FAMU, FSU College of Engineering. And back then, you were able to participate in joint programs. It's not available anymore, but thank God for 2000 and 2001, I was able to participate.
So wait a minute. So I just interviewed Dr. E, and I just found out she's this singer. So you were in the Marching 100, so to explain that one to me.
So
we're in Miami, so everybody, well, my daughter, she graduated from Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. So explain
she's a rattler. I love it. So my background, my band director at Carroll City graduated from FAMU.
Okay.
So it was that culture that was cultivated. The traditional black band was very big in the 90s. Carroll City had the opportunity to participate in many parades and many opportunities with homecomings. Got exposed to the FAMU. And I had the opportunity to say, if I was to leave Miami, where would I go? So I was able to hit two birds with one stone because of Florida State with engineering and with FAMU.
So you weren't in the Florida State band?
No. It wasn't really my style. It really wasn't my style. Great band though. Excellent band program.
Clean it up.
Excellent band program. But the core style versus traditional style, I have to go with the traditional style.
Okay.
So it was a great experience. And after graduating.
Wait a minute, hold on. What instrument? I mean.
I apologize. So I started with trumpet in elementary school. Then I did trumpet and French horn. Okay. So trumpet for marching and jazz band. Then for concert band, it was French horn. When I moved to high school, I transitioned totally to French horn to ensure that I was able to sharpen my skills. Because it's a little bit different between playing trumpet and French horn. Two different skill sets and different parts and melodies. So you wanted to be a bit more in sync to what you wanted to play.
Right. Okay.
So it was a great opportunity. I love it. It really helped me establish who I am today, my experience. So I had really the best of both worlds. I had the HBCU experience, and
that's deep. I didn't. That's new to me.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because of the joint programs, but things have changed and they no longer allowed that to happen. So it was a great opportunity, great blessing for me. And after graduating Florida State, I came back home to Miami, and I began to work with the company I interned with, is Florida Power & Light. Okay. Yeah, so I've been there for 17 years. So
I know we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, so I'm a firm believer that if you have an opportunity to have a great job and be an entrepreneur, you should take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of it because I help 9-to-5ers, so people who are working hard 9 to 5, and I help them with their passion and igniting their purpose. And not only that, help them monetize their passion, because so many things can be done after someone realized what they were called to do.
Well, let's go back to that whole point, what you said, being able to have a 9 to 5 and pursue, I guess I would call your dreams.
Correct.
And turning those dreams into reality, entrepreneurship. I think that it creates even a better employee because you are obviously doing that job that you're, doing, but then you still have that excitement, that energy to pursue what it is that you truly are called for. So I admire that.
Well, I appreciate that. And I want to encourage anyone who's listening to this that it's okay to have a job. It's okay to stay there. Especially with the new trend, sometimes you will hear some individuals tell you, hey, quit the job and go straight into the entrepreneurship role.
It's easy to say that.
It's easier to say that.
Being an entrepreneur, it's, you eat what you catch. And if you're out there trying to catch something and you didn't catch it today, you're not eating today.
So it's feast or famine, as they say sometimes.
Absolutely.
When you're fishing. Funny enough, I was on a fishing trip a couple months ago. And this was probably the most successful fishing trip that I've ever had. We caught 20, 30 fish. But I was thinking about how often does this happen?
Oh, trust me. I love to fish myself. You go out there. I mean, a great day out there fishing is a great day.
Correct.
And let's use that analogy. Because a great day out there hunting as an entrepreneur, you may not catch anything today, but you made connections.
That is good. So it brings me to the point, the power of relationships.
Absolutely.
And planting seeds.
And that's what it's about.
So as a man of faith as well, I always have to hold firm to understand what God is telling me. You have to believe every day that you're planting, God is watering it. And even though you may not see the harvest today, you have to know the concept of the bamboo, right? The concept of the bamboo plant is you will plant that seed, but 5 years, on average, it takes 5 years for it to sprout. How many entrepreneurs have the staying power, the willpower to wait 5 years to see the seeds actually sprout? And it's a challenging thing.
I planted a green bamboo 3 years ago. I saw the first shoot come up out of that bamboo about a month ago.
See? So you're living it.
Well, I'm a farmer. I'm a gardener.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I planted some green bamboo and some yellow bamboo, and the yellow shot up one sprout about a year ago, and that's all. But with all this rain lately, I think we're going to start seeing some more. But again, going back to the fishing analogy, when you love what you're doing, because fishermen, whether you are catching fish or not catching fish, you love being out on that water.
You love being out on the
so
water.
Back to the analogy of loving what you're doing as an entrepreneur, you have to love it.
Correct.
Because there are going to be those days that they say it's feast or famine. But again, the other side of that is that you're planting seeds.
Yeah.
So you are enjoying the process of the engagement of planting those seeds.
Yeah, and that's why being a part of the chamber is so important. It's about planting those seeds. It's an opportunity to build those relationships. And the key thing is you never know when those relationships will mature, but you just got to believe in God's timing. So when the opportunity to connect happens, you connect. And don't worry about the immediate result.
No, you can't.
Focus on that relationship because it's going to open so many doors in the future.
Absolutely. We're going to take a little break, but so before we get into that, this has been, and this will be, and it will continue to be the Miami-Dade Chamber Member Connection. We're going to take a little break. We're going to hear from one of our supporters.
Miami-Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber Member Connection. I'm here with Mr. Clinton Powell, and we're talking about fishing. We're talking about a lot of things, talking about entrepreneurship and, planting seeds. The thing about being an entrepreneur, every day is going to be an exciting day. It may be challenging, but it can be an exciting day if you look at it from that perspective. And so we're here to talk about your coaching, and you're a speaker. What was that? You played the trumpet, and then the French horn.
Yeah.
You know, I played trumpet for about a year, third
really?
grade, yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll take that. We'll accept that in. We'll
a couple
accept
years
that
I
in.
played and played the piano. I was into the piano, and then, you know, it stopped that. You know, growing up in the 60s, everybody wanted to play football, baseball, and everything else, and the guys used to get on me, and I used to probably be whining and crying. and my dad said, well, he don't want to play anymore. You don't. I wish they would have made me continue to play.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're a coach.
Yes, sir.
You've written a book. What's the book? Let's talk about the book.
So the book is Who's in Your Backyard? How to Identify and Build Multi-Generational Teams. So the thought process behind the book, I served 6 years as a youth pastor. And as a youth pastor, one thing I realized working in the church and even in the nonprofit space, that you have so many generations that's coming together with a goal to move things forward, but it's challenging to actually put teams together. So
through the generations,
because you have the traditionalists, the baby boomers, the millennials, the zennials. So you have so many people that's coming together in one organization. They all have their values. They all have something to share. But what can you do to build a team that's cohesive? So after my experience as a youth pastor and utilizing the youth, the teenagers, to be the leadership team, I wrote the book about that process. So I started the youth ministry with 20 students, and we went to averaging over 200 students on a weekly basis. And it was the principles of identifying the talent, it was cultivating that talent, empowering that talent, and giving them a seat at the table so their voice could be heard.
Absolutely, and that's what they want, to be heard.
They want to be heard. And once you will realize, once you give this next generation the keys to the kingdom, they will run with it. Of course, what am I saying? You don't want the other generations to leave. You still need their guidance. You still need, because their experience is so priceless. But it's convincing the older generation that your role needs to change. You're not obsolete. We're not trying to get rid of you, but we just need to change and allow the young people to be the feet in the arms of all the great ideas that you have as well.
That's a good point that you make. I actually had the conversation about the keys, and I'm not even going to go there, but that's another topic. Topic for another time.
I would love to hear that. I would love to follow up with
this. Well, I'm actually going to bring it up. Actually, it was a young man, wasn't a member of the chamber, but we're connected. And I support anyone who's in business, and you don't necessarily have to be a member of the chamber. But he wanted to meet someone. Now, park that, right? Okay. We're in a conversation. Actually, it was a conversation similar to this, and his comment was, you know, the old heads, y'all need to get out of the way. And if you don't get out of the way, we're going to take the keys.
I don't think that's the right approach.
Okay.
I don't think that's the right approach.
So when you said give them the keys to the kingdom, it made me think about that. And so it's a process through that, and I'm sure you will talk about that process. But going back to what I parked, he wanted to meet someone to help him get a contract. Or not to get a grant, not a contract, but to get a grant to do what he was doing. Got it. And I opened the door. I had the key. I opened the door, introduced him.
Of course.
And he got a check for $50,000.
Of course.
So I have a little ism with the giving the key, but
it's a process.
It's a process.
It's an absolute process, and you know I summarize it in a short because the context.
Right, exactly.
But there is definitely a process. You have to be able to put things in place.
First of all, you got to build trust.
Establish a lot of trust is needed.
Yeah, because I like using analogies. You don't just give somebody the keys to your house unless you trust them.
Absolutely.
So it's developing that trust. But like I said, we really could talk about this because actually Kanasha and I, president of BPN,
I'm a member as well.
We've been talking about having an event where we bring the cross generations together. Been talking to Carol Ann Taylor as well, and Carol Ann is a big advocate of this, and I think you being in that conversation is important.
Absolutely, I would love to.
So let's work on that.
I would love to. The concept of generational growth and how to continue to work together it's important in every generation and
Absolutely.
in every industry.
And you know what we don't have, what we used to have, where grandma was in the house and granddaddy was in the house.
Yeah.
We don't, and auntie or someone, the elders were in the house.
Correct.
We don't have that as much anymore. In some cultures, it's still very prevalent.
Yep.
But pretty much in the U.S., and again, depending on who you are and what your culture is, that happens. But we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah. And it's sad that we have lost that because it goes to that essence of the respect for the older generation,
Absolutely.
the community of the older generation, the wisdom of the older generation. And if you really look at it, the individuals who say the old heads need to move out the way, just look at their family structure, maybe that personal dynamic. They haven't experienced that personally, so it's hard for them to adjust. So creating a platform such as you're speaking of will be an absolute great opportunity to help that.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. So you've written the book, and we didn't go because we kind of cut you off.
No problem.
Talk about the book a little bit in a little bit of time we have, and then talk about the coaching.
So the book, Amazon bestseller, it is doing well. It's to continue to do that well. And I use that book to help nonprofits and churches in that training as well. And that caused me to pivot. So when I launched the coaching business, I was focusing on nonprofit leaders and pastors and leaders. But one of the things that I realized, financial wealth and generational wealth is so important. And how can we get our community on that bandwagon and getting them engaged to really creating that wealth? And as a 9-to-5er, sometimes, depending on your role, the average 9-to-5er will not be able to create the income that they see as that legacy wealth builder. So I pivoted in helping 9-to-5ers really turn their passion into profit and monetize their experience, hence the relaunch of Empower to Win coaching.
Okay.
So that is a big thing because I believe everyone has a purpose, everyone has a passion that they can actually monetize. You have experience. For example, myself, I have an engineering background, but how many of us have different talents that they are sitting on, but they're hearing that voice in their head, it's time to make a move. So I help those individuals really understand the roadmap of coaching and entrepreneurship and help them launch their programs.
Wow. So how can someone who has, again, you say 9-to-5ers, but they have this dream inside them. Talk about it just a little bit. How do you go about doing it?
So the method that I use is how to find your coaching voice. And that coaching voice is equal to your purpose, plus your passion, plus your vision. So we all have a purpose in life. We all have a passion and we all have a vision. So I utilize those three components to help them identify their coaching voice. The purpose, one for me is a person of faith, as I said. The first thing is that you're created to glorify God in that element. So once you understand that and understand our role, we are to take and utilize the gifts that he's given us to move that forward. We all have dynamic things in our lives. So your purpose could be working with people. Your purpose could be an invention. Your purpose could be creating something that you've been holding on inside. And what is your passion? What is it that you love doing? And that passion, everyone has a passion. So you have to really identify that passion and understand who is your target audience in that passion. Some people really have a passion for kids. So how can you use your passion for kids to create the industry that your legacy can benefit from and that vision? What do you see for yourself? Do you see yourself as financially free? Do you see yourself as a philanthropist? Do you see yourself making a difference within your community? You add those three things together, and I'll walk you through. There's a little bit more details.
Right.
There's some questions that I ask you, and then we find that coaching voice.
How can someone get in touch with you?
Well, easy. You can get in contact with me. All social media, that's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at Clinton K. Powell. So Facebook, Instagram, and then you could go directly to clintonkpowell.com and connect with me there.
If you want to know more about the Miami-Dade Chamber, go to m-dcc.org, or you can call the Chamber at 305-751-8648. We will see you next time. Yes, and I will be excited because this is all about growing Black business, growing Black entrepreneurship. Clinton Powell, thank you.
Thank you.
This has been great.